Hello, I am Coach Irene. I have been teaching English language for more than 5 years. In this lesson, we are going to learn about pronouns, the types of pronouns, and how to avoid common mistakes that learners of English make. Let's jump right in. What is a pronoun? A pronoun is a word used in replacing a noun in a sentence. You can also say a pronoun is a word used in place of a noun to avoid repeating the same noun multiple times. Pronouns refers to people, objects, or things without naming them directly. Examples we have he, she, it, they, we, you. An example sentence would be Mary went to her house. Notice that instead of saying Mary went to Mary's house, we replaced Mary with her. Mary went to her house. Her in this sentence replaced Mary to avoid repeating the same noun multiple times. Another example would be Tony was famished. So, Tony went to the store and Tony bought some groceries for dinner. What do you think about this sentence? Very repetitive and redundant. Let's replace the nouns with pronouns and see how the sentence sounds. Tony was famished. So he went to the store and he bought some groceries for dinner. Another example would be Mary and Jane like going out together. Mary and Jane work in the same company. Mary and Jane are best friends. Obviously, you can see that the sentence is pretty hackneyed. Let us replace the nouns with pronouns. Mary and Jane like going out together. They work in the same company. They are best friends. I know your thought. The second sentence sounds exquisite, unlike the initial one that was so repetitive and boring. Pronouns help us to avoid repetition and boring sentences. To proceed in this lesson, we will be looking at types of pronouns. Number one, we have personal pronouns. A personal pronoun is a word that replaces a noun, specifically a person, animal, or thing, in a sentence to avoid repetition. It helps to make communication clearer and more concise. There are 3 types of personal pronouns: subject, object, and possessive pronouns. Subject pronouns are pronouns that perform the action of the verb in a sentence. They replace the noun that is the subject of the sentence. They include I, we, you, he, she, it, and they. For example, I went to the market yesterday. Here, the pronoun is I, and it is a subject pronoun because I performed the action. You can also replace the I with any of the other subject pronouns. Examples: we went to the market yesterday. You went to the market yesterday. They went to the market yesterday. Let's look at object pronoun. The object pronoun is used in the object position in a sentence. By that, I mean they are used as the object of a verb or a preposition in a sentence. They receive the action of the verb or relate to a preposition. They include me, us, you, him, her, it, them. For example, Peter saw them at the mall yesterday. In this sentence, them is an object pronoun, and you can use any of the other object pronoun to replace them. Example, Peter saw you at the mall yesterday. Peter saw her at the mall yesterday. Number 3, possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns indicate ownership or possession. They show that something belongs to someone. They include my, mine, our, ours, your, yours, his, her, hers, its, their, theirs. For example, that car is mine. This shows that the car belongs to me. We can also say, this is my car. Both sentences shows ownership. Note that a number of students make mistake when it comes to the subject I and me. Let us look at these sentences. Can you tell me the correct answer? I and Mary are best friends. Mary and I are best friends. Me and Mary are best friends. Mary and me are best friends. In this sentence, we need a subject pronoun. We cannot use me as it is an object pronoun. The subject here is taking the action. So obviously, me is wrong. The first option is grammatically correct. However, the best way to say this is Mary and I are best friends. The reason is when you put the other person first before you in English, it is more respectful and appropriate. It is also considered ethical. In this sentence, you could also use other nouns or plural nouns. For example, my team and I are going on a trip. It could even be another pronoun, like you and I. For example, you and I are best friends. Let us look at another example. I would like you to choose the correct sentence amongst these 4 sentences. She invited I and Jane to the party. She invited Jane and I to the party. She invited me and Jane to the party. She invited Jane and me to the party. Which is correct? You can pause the video and answer. In this sentence, we are going to be using the object pronoun because the noun and pronoun are receiving the action. So we are going to use me. That makes the first and the second sentence incorrect. The correct way to say it is, she invited Jane and me. The third sentence is grammatically correct. However, like we earlier said, you have to always put the other person first, especially when it comes to something positive. Therefore, the correct answer is D. It is very common for students to make this error when it comes to me and I. I hope with this explanation, you've gained clear understanding about these pronouns. Another mistake that students make when it comes to pronouns is adding apostrophe when using ours. For example, the car is ours. This sentence is wrong. You do not have to add apostrophe when using ours, yours, hers, its, and theirs. With this, we have come to the end of the first lesson. To proceed, we're going to be looking at reflexive pronouns. Let's jump right in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our exquisite channel. Welcome to Level Up with Coach Irene. In this lesson, we will be looking at reflexive pronouns. They are pronouns that refer back to the subject of the sentence. They are used when the subject and the object of a verb are the same person or thing, and they emphasize that the action is being done by the subject itself. Examples we have myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. For example, I taught myself to play the guitar. He hurt himself while playing soccer. We enjoyed ourselves at the party. The dog fetched the ball itself. In these sentences, notice that the subject and the object are referring to the same person or thing. Being an English coach, I have observed a number of students make these errors with reflexive pronouns. Let's look at some of them. Kate and myself went to the store. This sentence is incorrect. It should be Kate and I went to the store. Using myself instead of I is totally wrong because the pronoun is a subject, not an object of the action. Remember, you use myself when referring to the same person or thing. In this sentence, the speaker is not referring to the same person, and so it should take the form I and not myself. Let's look at another sentence. The children can do it themselves. This is a wrong sentence. It should be the children can do it themselves. Ensure the reflexive pronoun agrees with the subject. For example, themselves for plural subject like children, they, both, two, and many more. Let's look at another common error. If you have questions, contact myself. Myself should only be used when it refers to I. The correct sentence would be, if you have questions, contact me. Another sentence would be, the governor himself will contact you. This is incorrect. Use reflexive pronouns for emphasis correctly, ensuring they fit naturally in the sentence. The correct sentence would be, the governor will contact you himself. These errors can lead to confusion or sound unnatural. So reflexive pronouns should be used only when the subject and object are the same, or for emphasis when it makes sense. Note that these reflexive pronouns are the only ones we have in English language. So, when you see something different, you should know that it is incorrect. For example, using theirselves for themselves, or using himself for himself. Indefinite pronouns are pronouns that refer to non-specific people, things, or amount. They do not point to any particular person, place, or thing, and can be used when the exact identity is unknown or unimportant. For people, they include everyone, everybody, someone, somebody, anyone, anybody, no one, nobody. For thing, they include everything, something, anything, nothing. For amounts or quantities, they include all, some, none, any, many, few, several, one, each, both, either, neither. The important thing you have to note about indefinite pronouns is that all the indefinite pronouns you see displayed now are singular, meaning with all these pronouns, you have to use singular verb in the present tense. Let's look at some sentences together. Choose the correct options. You can pause the video and answer the questions. The correct option for the first question is. Everyone is invited to the meeting. Number 2, the correct answer is knows. Nobody knows the answer to this question. Number 3, the correct answer is has. Each of the students has a unique talent. Number 4, the correct answer is was. Everything was ready for the big event. Note that in each of the sentences, the pronouns refers to non-specific or unknown persons or things. Despite sometimes they imply more than one possibility, they grammatically function as singular subjects, requiring singular verbs and agreement in sentences. Everyone, nobody, each, everything are all singular. Together, let's look at this sentence. What do you think is the correct verb? Of course, is. In this sentence, the subject is one. Therefore, you have to use is as the verb. This sentence means that one of my teachers, not all, is a mother. In addition, we also have indefinite plural pronouns. They do not specify a precise number or identity, but they indicate a group or collection of items of people. They can often be used with a noun or on their own depending on the context. They include both, few, several, many, all, some, most. Examples: some of the chairs are broken. Notice we use are as the verb in this sentence, indicating plural pronoun. Most of the team arrived on time. Many of the trees lost their leaves in the fall. In these sentences, you can see that the pronouns helps to convey generality and are particularly useful when making statements about groups without needing to specify each number. Their verbs are always pluralized. To proceed, we're going to be talking about interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns are pronouns used to ask questions. They help to gather information about people, things, or choices. These pronouns typically appear at the beginning of a question. They include who, whom, whose, what, which. Examples: which of these fruits would you like? Who are you meeting today? Whose pencil is this? What are you doing this Saturday? Let us look at the difference between what and which, who and whom. What is used to ask general questions, and which is used to ask specific questions. Examples: what do you want for dinner? What is your favorite color? In these sentences, you can see that what is used when the answer could be broad or when the speaker doesn't know what the available choices are, whilst which implies that the person asking knows there are specific choices or alternatives to choose from. Examples: which shoe do you want to buy? The brown one or the black one? Which route should we take? The stern way or the vivid way? From these explanations, you can see that what is used when asking in a general or broad way with potentially unlimited answers, whilst which is used when there is a limited or defined set of options to choose from. Let us look at the difference between who and whom. Now note, in English, it is absolutely okay to use who in all situations. Therefore, if you find yourself contemplating on the word to use, just use who, as who is always correct in all situations. However, if you are someone that wants to be very particular and always want to use the correct grammar, especially when writing, then it's important you understand the difference. Who is used as the subject of a sentence, meaning it is a subject pronoun. Who refers to the person performing the action. Example, who made this cake? Who washed the dishes? In these sentences, you can see that who represents the subject doing the action, whilst whom is used as the object of a verb or preposition. It is the object pronoun. Whom refers to the person receiving the action. For example, whom did you invite to the party? Whom are you speaking with? You can see that whom refers to the person receiving the action. Like I earlier showed you, the difference between I and me, I being the subject and me being the object. Here, who is the subject whilst whom is the object. Let's look at this sentence together. The correct answer for the initial question is whom, and the other is who. Can you spot the difference? Let's talk about whose. Whose is used to ask questions about possession or ownership. For example, whose house are we visiting this weekend? Whose idea was it to start the project early? To proceed in this lesson, we will be looking at demonstrative pronouns. They are used to point specific things, people, or places. They indicate whether the item being referred to is near or far in distance or time, and whether it is singular or plural. They include this, that, these, those. Examples we have: this is my favorite color. That was a great movie. These are beautiful dresses. Those shoes are quite expensive. Let us look at the difference between this and these. This is used for singular nouns, whilst these is used for plural nouns. Examples we have: this is my book, and these are my books. Again, let us look at the difference between that and those. Both pronouns are used for something far away, either in space or time. However, that is singular, whilst those is plural. Examples we have: that is my shoe. Those are my shoes. Way to go! We have come to the end of these lessons. I trust that you got value. Do well to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our exquisite channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.